Deus Vult, my fellow gamers, and here we are. This is kind of like the aftermath of my latest battle, which is actually several days ago, but since I have a nice garage, I can just keep everything set up. So this is a Battletech battle. We're using these paper maps. My buddy sent me these maps so that we have duplicates of each of them. I've got a set of 3, actually 6, because they're front and back. Much smaller than what I'm used to gaming on. I mean, right here we've got a 6x8 table, something, or no, 4x6. It's a little bit bigger because you see the mat itself right here is 4x6, but then I've got chunks of space I left for drinks and books and dice and all that stuff. But so this is a departure from what I'm used to. Much smaller scale, much more convenient, much more portable. It's just really awesome. I guess you can have a whole butt ton of mechs on here too. Your movement potentials and stuff are going to become crazy, but yeah. So I've got some blank hexes here, and then my buddy walked off his locust. This is not a locust. This is some other crap with like 2 Gauss rifles, but yeah, boo hiss to those plasticky things. But anyway. So, and I just did designators like H for Hatchet Man, and then I have my front marked out clearly so we know what's going on. And then this was last minute. I didn't know he was bringing 3 mechs. So I've got a C for crab, and then a front arrow, a little crow's foot that you use in carpentry to designate the front of this mech. And then this one I knew was going to be one of his mechs. I just have a front arc there painted in just silver. And then, like I said, he was using that mech too. And these are just the 1-inch plastic hexes from Reaper, of course. So, and this certainly was not an Atlas this time. This was a Night Sky, which I do have one upstairs. It is assembled. I need to get to fixing his base up. He's got a weird base deal. His back foot is kicking up a bunch of dirt, but I need to fix that up and then prime him and paint him. But I kind of like the model since I'm doing like a Halloween theme for my army, or my mechs. I guess it's not really an army, but and his head looks like a Cyclops skull because it actually has like individual teeth on the top and bottom row. Very weird looking. This guy, I don't think he's really done yet, but I kind of ask myself, do I want to do more? So, but it was my 2 mechs to his 3. This unmarked one was a flea, and I actually just knocked it down and blew it up. The crab was basically blown up, but the thing's like a freaking tank. And I rolled damage all over the place, so it absorbed damage all over the spectrum. This thing, I daggone near crippled, took off a missile bay and whatnot, so he was limping around the field. Not limping, he was still sprinting his ass off. But yeah, he walked him off the board because he wanted to deny me killing that thing. But regardless, it was a fun game, and we're actually doing it over the phone. My buddy, he doesn't have a smartphone or anything like that, and I want to get him onto a video chat call. Like Facebook has its own chat. You could use different video chat services from the computer, and it would just take his camera off his computer, which would be plenty enough to do this, at least so that we could check our dice rolls, because right now it's the honor system, and I trust this guy. If my mechs start getting headshotted really quick and easy, then it's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna call you on that shit. But for now, everything's on the up and up. But here I just decided, it looks better with the trees, doesn't it? So these things I had purchased ages ago. Pardon me, I'm dying of the plague. When you have kids in school, you're never healthy. So, but yeah, these little trees are just awesome. And, I know that they're not to scale because these mechs are like bigger than skyscrapers or whatever the heck. So it just makes it impossible to have scale terrain unless you do it's ridiculous. So these trees, I actually bought these trees to use with this set here. This map here is from Monday Night Gaming, and it's this thing here. It's this map here. But this is a set of hills and stuff like that. These are all like styrofoam hills, but they've got the hex, the geohex stuff printed right on it. That's really great. And you can see mechs on it. So, but and look at their trees. And these are actually bushes in 28mm gaming. But look at those things. They're massive compared to the ones I have up here. But since my buddy isn't here in my face, he's actually across the country in Utah, we're using these numbered sheets. And this is really good because like we'll orient it one way. Like here I had mine upside down and his was right side up. And we just call out, which hex we're in as we're moving and which way we're facing. And we can actually call out the specific hex that we're facing, which makes things super nice for placement, especially if you want to game over the phone kind of a thing. So once he gets his tech on, then, I can have a video call with him, and I can also film it at the same time off the same device. I'm pretty sure I can do that, which would be cool for bat reps, even though it'd be like a 3-hour-long bat rep, but I can sit there and kind of shrink things up, I guess, or summarize. I can just take pictures and summarize for you guys. So far, we did one trial game, and then we did this one with 2 mechs, and 3 mechs here, and I felt that this had more depth to it. There was more movement, there was more angles and stuff, and it was mo better. So I appreciate the mechs, multiple mechs. I don't know if we're gonna go with more mechs than this. We'll see. It did flow pretty good, so we'll just keep using the maps, and I actually might buy a bunch more of these to do individual terrain pieces. Like I said, here you got the trees. They're heavy. You just stick trees on them, which is fine. But then you have different levels of hill. And let me see down here. Get out of the way, explosive marker. But I was doing area terrain to start out with. And it's actually difficult to glue these things together and keep them flat. You have to place things on top of them, but wunderbar, beautiful. It would just make it look better. If I was playing a face-to-face opponent, we would be breaking that thing out with the hills and with these area of terrain pieces, and just put the trees right on top and say, yep, there you go. I mean, it's clear where the hexes end and begin and all that stuff, and you can just pop off a dude. I don't want to use that crappy gray model. And then plop on a guy. There you go. So he would be in that hex, and then he can move different hexes, and everything's modular. Yay! So I've had this stuff pre-built. I actually had a bunch of Word of Blake mechs, but then my buddy was saying that I couldn't use them because they're age specific or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. And nobody around me played. So then I just sold all my Word of Blake mechs, and they were really nice mechs. I had like the really awesome Omega and a lot of the cool mechs that looked like Veritech fighters in the Guardian mode. But now I'm like, I don't really care. We're over the phone. You're a buddy of mine. I'll buy the mechs that I want to buy because they look cool. You guys, when you see this Night Star mech that I have, it's kind of like, man, that's weird. It's it's a very strange looking thing. And I have pledged that I'm going to buy a mech that is very, very boxy, and I'm going to paint it like it's made of cardboard boxes. I'll of course be throwing that cheeky little smile in from Amazon, and this side up arrows and all that good stuff. It's going to happen. I will actually paint little glossy areas where the tape has been too. I'll paint little stripes of glossy areas. It's going to be epic. But yeah, I want to do that because these mechs are designed really poorly. And this guy wasn't. He's pretty much a boss. And actually, I like the Word of Blake mechs. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say, okay, this is a Word of Blake mech. It's this and this. But in reality, it's going to be a Hatchet Man, or it's going to be this, it's going to be that. I'm just going to put new names on them, but have models that I like to look at on the board. So I hope that this helps. Maybe if you guys have friends abroad or something like that, if you want to play on the phone, you can play on the phone with this because positioning is awesome. And hopefully I can get my Stone Age friend into the modern age, and we can get some video calls going on, and hopefully bring you some blow by blow battle reports. That would be boss. And if we can get video calls with him, then we can do some Dead Zone, which would be awesome, or any other game, really. But I think Dead Zone would be the next step, because it's kind of modular like this, where there is no measuring tape, and he's got the vermin force, so maybe I can get him involved in that. But we will see. Anyway, guys, I hope that you are taking it easy. Don't get sick. There's a cold going around or some mess. But, yeah, y'all take it easy. Carry a liaison.